In all creatures great and small, there resides the spirit of athletic competition. From the heights of Mount Animalypics, the flame begins its journey through the four corners of the animal kingdom, bringing with it drama, joy, and sorrow, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. Farther, faster, furrier, the motto of the competing continents of these first games. And now, live via satellite, Animalypics. The 5 rings of the paw print.
Good evening, U.S. Space Wolf Squadron. This is your Commander Wolf 10. I'm your werewolf. And tonight we are doing a special occasion, which is another animation spotlight. Is it our first one or our second one?
Our first one up for spring?
First one for spring. I cannot be any more happy about this one today, guys, because tonight we are talking about a special program that most people might have thought it was a favorite game. Those remember so fondly, especially being played on the Disney Channel. That's right, everybody. We're talking about Animalypics, a funny animal production that, hey, that's kind of funny how I'm talking about the Olympics, but with funny animals during springtime. Is the Olympics has the Olympics started yet, or are they in the eve of bringing them in? Nothing.
Winter Olympics.
I mean, for this year, I'm not sure if the Olympics is even starting, or if they're saving it for next year.
She is showing up on time this time around. Our letter they have our letter plus size.
Yay!
Good evening, everyone. This is Leia Plus Size, your lovely Lady of Valor, and I hope you join this discussion about Animalypics. And to answer your question, it's very interesting, the timing, even though we are 5 months away from the Summer Olympics in Paris this year. I am not familiar with this show again, sorry, but I'm sure my fellow crew members will have a very good discussion.
It's a movie, not a show.
Oh, see, yeah, there you go. See how much I know. It is a movie, unfortunately, I am not very familiar with, so I'm sure the members of my fellow crew will give a very good breakdown of this movie. And yes, like I said, the Olympics are in summer this year, and they will be in Paris.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
However, it sounds like you didn't watch the movie.
I did not get a chance to finish the movie. And I know I'm allowed to be very honest, right?
Yes.
I'm allowed to be honest.
Yes.
When have we said otherwise?
More on that later, Leia. Let me introduce everybody else. We have the Hound of South Duncan. How?
Well, first off, at least you did get a chance to watch it, even though you didn't complete it. But good evening, everyone. This is the Hound of South Donald Paul, and thank you for joining us in this spring episode of Animation Spotlights, where today we are going to talk about the Animalypics.
We have the humblest of writers, Humble Marty.
Thank you for having me here.
A fellow furry lover. So where to begin? This is a production. Animalypics is a 1980 animated television film directed by Steven Linsberger and produced by Linsberger Studios for the NBC network. Originally commissioned as 2 separate specials, exclusive Summer and Winter Olympics games, and features the voices of Billy Crystal, Gilda Radner, Harry Shearer, and Michael Freeman. The film is a series of vignettes presented as the progress of the first Animal Olympic Games through the fictional Zoo television network. The Games combine summer and winter Olympic events. The events are covered mostly by Barbara War- Warblers, a songbird, and anchor turtle Henry Hummel. The 100-meter dash is covered in the style of a drag race by Jackie Fullet. Like the real, unlike the real Olympics, continents are represented rather than countries. The continents featured are North America, South America, Eurasia, Europe, Africa, Australia, and Asia. Eurasia represents the USSR, whereas Europe represents Western and Central Europe. Shall I read more? I should read more. The only mention of areas other than continents are New York City Reds soccer team, Dean Wilson from California, a Central American marathon runner named Pepe uh, Repon-
Oh,
Repanosa, and
you mean the 100-meter dash runner? No, that was
yeah,
Brooke. The marathon runners were Kit Mambo, man, someone had fun animating her derriere, and Renee Fromage, whose name in French means reborn cheese.
we're getting there. Cliff diver named Primo Cabeza, marathon runner Terry Hornsby, being from Boulder, Colorado, Rene Fromage from France, and Kurt Wolfner appearing at the downhill event right before a Scandinavian is given a gold medal. So that is about this as close of a synopsis I can read before we get to the finer details and not read off the wiki page this time of good old reliable Wikipedia. So let's start with first impressions, as always. Starting with Humble Marty.
I liked it. I I guess you could say I'm very simple to please. I love the humor in it.
Definitely need the humor. Dominic, your first impressions.
Well, it felt more like a rewatch than anything else because because when you brought it up, it sounded familiar, and when I counted it when I was browsing around YouTube, and eventually sat down and we watched the movie, my memory was, oh, wait, I have seen this before. Where all the memories was coming back, and it was how I was introduced to the Animal Olympics was through Disney Channel, and I gotta say, it has actually aged really well. Well, like from the art to the story,
And the
and but to
music.
back up, and the music too. Feel like the soundtrack definitely it brought a smile. It brought a smile to my face. And it's because you can just play any of those songs like every day, right? Whether you're just out of the house or even when you're exercising. But to
We're gonna
back
get to
up with
favorite songs pretty soon, but continue.
but, but to back up with Humble Marty, the humor has also aged like fine wine. Like even and this was during a time where where nothing nothing was politically correct, and the animators as well as the writers they're able to get away with a lot of stuff, especially with the humor.
Hmm.
Like
Leia,
well, most of it like flew over kids' heads.
Leia,
Okay, I'll tell you this. For what I saw, um, I thought it was okay. Was it my favorite? No. It did remind me, and I'll talk about this in the future, of two other made for TV movies about that time. This was 1980, correct? And this was
Mm,
made. Did I get the dates right? This, again, it shows you how much I
it's
know
1980,
about this.
yes.
Yes. It reminded me of two other films I think that were produced by the same studio that I liked a little more. One was called Romeo and Juliet, and they're about these two robots that follow the Romeo and Juliet story. But that's for another time. I'll get back into that another time. I have to be honest. I just thought the movie was okay. I didn't think it was terrible, but I can't say it's my favorite.
Hmm, fair.
Sorry, it just I just thought it was just basically okay. But I am happy to see that you're looking. I will say this to be positive, that you're looking back at animation that I grew up with and having a second look at it and enjoying it. So I am happy about that. So I'll give
Nelvana
you
made. Oh, sorry.
Nirvana.
Was it?
Who is it? Did they make this film or the one I was talking about, Bubba Smith?
Hmm.
Buddy.
We'll wait for his response.
Okay, but yeah, I'll give you that credit. It's good to see that you're looking into the gems of good story. And Wolf is right. This is back when animation was fun, telling a good story, and entertaining you.
Now, to anthological, for my first impressions, this is going by when I first watched it on Disney Channel, as Don had once said, and that's the reason why I bring it up because I saw it through the Disney Channel back when the Disney Channel was worth watching because they always had a smorgasbord of all kind of very sometimes obscure animations and some really good well known uh, underrated animations as well. Even kind of kooky movies that didn't do too well when they first released, like Archie. But I digress. Uh, one thing I liked about it was the creativity of the animals and the usage and how the animals showed their skills with each event. Like, say for instance, the otter Dean Wilson when he uses his tail to surf, or how he swims compared to the orca that they had to swim against, especially with the orca, knowing full well that the orca has a huge advantage, you know. Or say for instance, the mongoose or the weasel. What was her name again? Close up the damn wiki page. What was her name? Hang on. My computer's running slow today for some reason.
She was a meat, wasn't she?
I would know. It's easy to confuse both of them. But I like the way how they use her movements as well. Let me see.
Gymnast, right?
No, yes, she's a gymnast, and as a correction, Wolf, she's a mink, not a weasel.
Mink. I'm a me. I am not a weasel. I see. We're gonna talk about that show one day. Brand new animal.
Yeah, well, the series from Trigger that deserves a second season, but we'll touch on that later. Yeah, but to go back to the mink gymnast, it was like
Yeah.
it was also well since you brought out this is a world full of anthropomorphic animals. It was what I will give the animators and the writers credit for how they incorporated like the real world abilities of each of those animals and incorporated them into the film.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that. I also like the fact that I also like the fact that the kangaroo was a spoof on Muhammad Ali.
Uh huh.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, here's what her name was. Tatiana Tushinko.
Yeah,
Yes. That.
Tatiana. Yeah, I just saw her name just now.
Yeah, but but her performance like in the gymnastics like part of the Mount Animal Olympics show show off how she really trained herself to like to her fullest, and all that training and hard work paid off.
Mm-hmm.
In a cartoony fashion. she, she was defying the laws of physics. she turned into a straight Looney Tune character, but I loved it though. I really always loved her dance performance. And what's funny about her dance performance or her gymnast performance, you have expect her to do the usual gymnast thing, but you have to remember this program is a comedy as well. So
Mm-hmm.
so they were basically spoofing gymnastics on the side there, especially with her over dramatic expressions, her her playful performances here and there, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Looney Tunes physics going on,
And at
which was
one time, Tatiana's derriere did fall on top of her.
that's the whole lot I know.
What all that in mind. Well, since you brought up like the parody and satire of the actual Olympics, do you like it showcased like how it didn't take itself too seriously? Because although we've actually witnessed instances like that in the actual Olympics, as where they range from good to overly pretentious.
Hmm.
True.
Fun fact: Brad Bird worked on here as an animator, and he worked
And
at Warner Bros. On what production? Might I add? The Iron Giant.
Giants.
Long before he did The Incredibles.
man, Michael Freemer actually did a majority of the voices here. Like he did both Renee Fromage, Kit Mambo, Bolt Jenkins, Henry Hummel, Kurt Wolfner, Dean Wilson, Melee, Count Maurice Bordeaux. I think that was supposed to be a little Terminator bit,
Jackie
wasn't
Feuillette, Bear McLean, Guy Le, LeFleur,
it? Guy Lefou,
Dion Dion
Bjorn Freeborg.
Freeboard, Mamo Olululu. Which was funny because I did not know he did Kit Mumble, and damn, he did a good job of doing a feminine voice. Kit
Yeah,
Mumble being a female lioness and speaking with a faux African accent. I thought Gilda did her voice, but nope.
I thought so
Still,
too.
only the handful of female characters on here, and which is funny because you only have four voice actors that had to go out of their way to make their voices distinct from different characters. I mean, freaking Billy Crystal was in here, and you can barely even hear his voice, and he's a distinctive voice, very distinctive voice. For those who are not in the know, Billy Crystal also voiced Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc.
Among other characters. But
Mhm.
yeah, well, yeah, I was not honestly surprised when I was looking at the credits. I was surprised. Right, so the one that Michael Freeman was like Kid Mambo. Like you said, man, I thought that was either Gilda Radner or another voice actress.
I'm just
Well,
kind of keeping my giggles to myself. But basically, Michael Freemer flirted with himself for the long run.
you put Renee from Mars and Kid Bubble. That had to be awkward as hell. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I bet it was.
I
Was
do love
but
the. I do.
nevertheless, was like in
Oh,
spite of the fact that the film only had four voice actors, yet you could not tell. No, because you genuinely thought there were actually other voice actors voicing those other characters. And
yeah, yeah.
this was back then, like voice actors, I was like didn't have to match the as like the skin color or the sex of the characters they're voicing as.
Right.
Still
It
love
was
this
still
line.
yeah, it was no big deal back then about it was about the voice and the talent. There was no politics in the casting of voice actors. It was just about the voice and the talent when they were looking for actors to portray, you had some famous actors that did character work, and then you did some that were not so famous, but mostly they looked at does that voice fit?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
And
shoot.
that's why
Oh,
and
like
that's
great.
why it's lasted time.
Oh, shoot, granny goodness from from when they transferred her from the pages of the original DC comics and Jack Kirby's New Gods to the small screen with the DC animated universe. She was voiced by a man, but you didn't think that was the case. But instead she was voiced by a woman with a deep voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why back then that thing it still sounds fresh and clear. Like you said, the casting of the voice actors was better back then than it is now. Now it's all about the pronouns and the names and DEI and making sure, but
The
that's not the way it
social
was back then.
demographics, not the merit.
Mm-hmm.
It also reads like they had the animators mostly they didn't have enough staff to hire enough voice actors, so they used what they had on hand. It was the 1980s, remember that the
Yeah,
eve of the 1980s. So you gotta think that of those times you had to you had to use what you had on hand. Who came in? It's the way how
and
Superman got started.
yeah, and
How say Christopher Reeve got his start.
well, like, with this studio, like they took advantage of their limited resources and it paid off.
Oh yes, you had an actor that also voiced more than one character because as Wolf said, you had limited casting and you had limited time. So sometimes an actor was brought in to voice more than one character to use those resources, or that we recycle certain scenes and repeat them and repeat over again because they only had so much that they could use. But it's still, and sometimes like for Saturday morning cartoons, a lot of those voice actors were actors that worked on the network. Like ABC would use some of their television stars. They would do voice Saturday morning cartoon characters, because they just used actors that were right within the network, whatever network it was, whether it was ABC or CBS or I know ABC did that a lot for their Saturday morning cartoons. They used actors that were on their primetime TV shows.
Hmm. But well, to get back to the Animal Olympics, like besides Renee and Kid, who are like, several of my favorite characters, there's the other ones goes to Barbara Warbler's the Songbird and Henry Hummel. Oh, those
Yeah.
guys are hilarious.
Oh God, especially Barbara. She just finds ways to scope out on the marathon runners. Because let's get really into their whole shtick. Kit Mumbo is kind of like this up and coming sort of pseudo feminist icon kind of thing going on, even though she's like just there to shall I say she's just up and coming. She's fresh, she's new. Whereas
Hmm.
Renee Fromage is like this
He's a veteran.
yeah, he's all about winning. He's never had time for love per se. That's his whole shtick, which is
But it's all,
he's always eye on the prize.
yeah. But it's also his character arc.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the only wait, let me see, because this line had me rolling sometimes. The way to beat Renee is to take a quick lead and break his concentration. Oh god, that had me rolling. Even as a kid, I was like, wait, break his concentration? How?
No, that was my reaction too when I watched this years ago as a kid.
It's like when you
But
start breaking,
again,
go.
again, like as you get older, or and we watch her, then you will understand what she meant.
She knew what she was doing on that track.
Oh, she was. Oh, well, that's why like, with this movie, it's an underrated gem.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like the humor it was timeless. That was and it wasn't gratuitous, but it didn't oh actually I almost got tongue tied, but it also didn't treat you like an idiot.
They
what?
knew they had a kids audience, so they didn't talk down to the kids. That was a big factor in animated movies at that time
But
because
it wasn't limited to
yeah,
just kids, but with
yeah,
Animal Olympics, it catered to kids as well as their parents, i.e., the adults.
right, right. You're very right about that, Dom. But also, the kids could get it as well as the adults.
Hmm.
What's funny was the adults. I'm pretty sure adults knew the in jokes about some specific Olympic events. I'm pretty sure they had caught that a few times. Of
Hmm.
course,
And if
me.
they're watching it with their kids and they're confused, it feels like they'll actually explain it.
So which events were your favorites? Starting with Humble again.
Um, I'd have to say my favorite was Brooke because of his sportsmanship and that 100-meter dash where they literally turned into sports cars.
Oh, you're talking about the alligator.
The
Uh,
alligator
what was his name? Shit. It's
is
Bolt Jenkins.
yeah, Bolt Jenkins. That's what his name is.
Hmm.
Bolt Jenkins. What did they call him? Brooke? Bolt Jenkins.
they, they made his whole life story like Rocky almost.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of funny part.
Oh my goodness, it had me rolling. He's all, and the way how he talks, he's like talking like this stuttery Brooklyn accent.
Mhm.
I still live in a cave. It was like dark and dirty and all. It was hard. It was hard to survive. But one thing I love was the fact that his story could be very inspirational to a lot of people,
Yep.
especially the song "Born to Lose." It's one of my favorite songs in the movie. Okay, starting with the 90s, we could recognize some of the VA, especially at the turn and going to the 2000s. Example broadcasters of Fish Breast was Patrick Warburton. Yes.
Well, I was if I could say about the music back then, they knew how to score or write songs for whatever project they were doing, from TV to television films. That's why you're liking some of the songs because they had good songwriters back then, and they understood how to use music and songs for whatever projects they were doing. That's why you still remember them and you like them.
hmm
Hmm.
I love "Go For It." Go for it. Go for it. That filler song. That's basically what it was. A straight up filler song. But also, "Made It to the Top." That's one of my favorites too. Now we made it. We ain't never gonna
Oh, that's
stop.
a favorite of mine too.
Oh my goodness. Uh, Dom, what was your favorite events?
Oh, besides the 100-meter dash, it would have to be the fencing, skiing, and gymnastics.
Uh, You're like me.
But the fence, but I said the fencing first because it's one of those events is that well I like to ask. I don't say if anybody really like talk about it all that much whenever they watch the real Olympics.
It,
'Cause
I liked it for the fact that it was a straight up out of pocket good versus evil event. Like it should have
right?
turned to one of these sports movies where you had a rival that's like in it to win and don't care how they win it. Oh motherfucker!
He's a
Oh,
rat.
oh god! Why they choose that for Arachne? Fuck me! I'm gonna watch it tonight, but oh, I hate that cover. Sorry, I'm scrolling Tubi right now, and Arachne's little choice of a poster just popped up, and it has big ass tarantulas.
What?
Photoshop onto the cover, mind you.
Oh,
Bad Photoshop. It's like
yikes.
side tangent, but yeah, they never thought of anything else. But I'm gonna watch it because that was a fun movie, regardless. The creatures on there, the stop motion in there was pretty good. But let's get to Animalypics. So you like the fencing? Okay, let's move on to Leia. What events that you liked in the movie? How far did you get? That is.
Um, I'm trying to remember. Let's see. I kind of let's see. I'm trying to see when as far as I got. I know like the picture you got here. The the gymnastic stuff was really fun, and I think that the racing here was really the one that was probably the most interesting. I'm going to say track and field, but I just find it. I found it very interesting. Always running in my mind. Now, what animal would win in the Olympics? And I said, well, it's got to be a cheetah. But it's interesting. All the other animals that competed.
I can't win it. No, he was better than me.
hmm I thought it'd be a tortoise in the hare, kind of spoof, but I didn't see that. But yeah, the gymnastics and the running, yeah, like there, that one was kind of fun. After that, I think I checked out, so I can't remember all of everything,
Oh my
but
god.
some of that part was quite cute because it did get me thinking: if there was an animal Olympics, what animal would win what? You know, who
Yeah, they don't really.
would win
One thing I
what?
like, they don't really bullshit around who could really win. They actually factor in some of the animal skills
Mm-hmm.
in their biology, which was really
True.
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. It showcased is that the creators actually had done their research on each of the individual animals, and also how that factors into the movie.
One
While
that
at the same time, that they weren't being too realistic.
right, they did kind of do a little bit of suspicious disbelief. One thing I would say was also a possible Sylvester Stallone nod was Bolt Jenkins was advertising himself as a purse, like a
Hmm.
like a model.
Yes.
Which reminded me of Rocky 3, more specifically the beginning of the movie.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That had me rolling. It's like, oh my god, that continues to have me rolling. It's sad, but it always cracks me up because too often that whenever time alligators or crocodiles are involved in cartoons, that too often if they're antagonistic, and especially if the hero beats them out, they end up becoming a sort of bag or something
Yeah.
or shoes.
True.
Hmm.
Um,
What are you gonna say, him?
which one was that Japanese gymnast?
Yeah,
Because the
aka
part,
stereotype.
eh, I think it was kind of well done stereotype because it wasn't mean spirited.
I agree.
And my favorite part was when he got handed the gold medal, he bowed and his head butt just knocked the guy out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's Japanese,
Oh,
actually. Yeah, Bruce Kwakamoto.
Oh, the naming conventions in this movie too.
Since you brought up like stereotypes, humble. Well, yeah, like he wasn't like he didn't come off as a harmful stereotype of the Japanese. He was like he came off as his own. Well, in this case, his own person, like as an anthropomorphic penguin.
My favorite.
But also he is his own character. Also, he was a fully realized character as much as they could to make him fully realized in such a limited amount of time.
My favorite events were the bobsled and the basically as the movie progresses, like things start getting more extreme. So some of the very extreme stuff start happening. Those end up being my favorites, like the swimming competition, the fencing
being love
competition,
versus the
the
orca.
the downhill the downhill ski,
Which is actually one of my favorites.
but my favorite was the bobsled because the Italian octopi.
Team calamari.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when they went up the first hill. Mamma mia! Don't let the screams fool you guys. That's not screaming of absolute terror. That is screaming of enjoyment because apparently from what they talked about these guys, they enjoy their sport. Let's do it again. But it's the scream that does me in sometimes.
Well, on the other side, there was Kurt Ruffner, one of the skiers, who was like doing his best to actually like make it to the end of the finish line, but he ended up disappearing once he stumbled upon Dogger Law, which is obviously only a nod to Shangri-La.
I will not rest until I return to Dagra. The accents, man. The accents. Especially Contessa. You have never faced before.
And some of these, well, some people in Generation Z, like they would think, I think that they're offensive, but if they actually sit down and watch the Animalypics, they see it's actually fun, and these animals, well, yeah, they represent like different continents. Well, they're not written as like off color stereotypes.
Oh, and don't even get me started on the don't even get me started on the volleyball, the chickens versus the lobsters.
I love that.
They were wild in that. Oh my man! What topped that was the hockey event.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
my god! Elephants versus bulls, and they turned it into a freaking war zone, complete with D-Day and dudes just hanging about at a campfire. Until one of their boys ends up quote unquote getting hurt, and one just goes in and just go out there and just starts tearing ass and everything. And they have him in a death hold. Oh, the heavy rolling. I love it. It's all every single time this movie come on. I watch it for simply that and the boxing scene where oh god. Oh man. That's what I mean. Like that's when it started getting extreme. That's where things get really interesting.
Oh yeah.
It's like they waste no time, absolutely no time in that second half. And it only happens in the second half. Oh man.
I really
Ooh.
love Barbara Warbler.
Especially the penguin dude where he just snatches her up close to him.
Mhm.
That heavy roll. She's like, yeah, get off me. There's a there's a lot of sexual harassment in this movie.
Oh
Kidding,
yeah.
kidding, kidding.
Well, not really though,
I know, I'm
because
just joking.
well, when they did the pair figure skating, they had the chicken with the lizard.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised
I
he didn't do
mean,
a striptease
He
with
ended
this
up being
spoon.
flat as a board.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the married couple doing a duet dance.
And the gym
Which I found
that
to be
was
rather
married
wholesome.
to the heavy lifter.
What do you say, Don?
I found that portion to be rather wholesome.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, because you can feel the camaraderie between the two as they put them there all in this event.
Especially when they lock eyes on each other, like just face to face. And they just zoom in on their faces, and their eyes are poking at each other. I do love Dory Tonnell's performance. Ladies and gentlemen, Dory Tonnell. And she just spins, and all of her feathers come off. Poor thing.
True. But she had a quick recovery with the bathrobe.
Yep.
You know the dog.
It's finished.
Huh?
It's finished.
Oh, it's finished. I didn't even see it finished. Let me see the left one.
So yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
Well, you can move on to obviously like the main story, which is Renee and Kit, and how like through over the course of the movie, like their characters like go through an arc, and they become became different from how they were originally at the start of the movie.
It. I will have to say that I do have one criticism of that story. We don't really get Kit's inner thoughts that much, or rather, we don't get no song for her, or better yet, we don't get enough of her backstory.
Which which I will say that it's a fair critique because even during this rewatch, like I was thinking, all right, so we learned a lot about Renee and the other like athletes, but oddly enough, we didn't get lot of kids' origins, which
Hmm.
on one hand, that would actually it would like it would have like would have negatively affected her arc as well as the gradual development from rivalry to a romance between Renee and Kit. On the other hand, I understand why that occurred because well as we brought up as we bring up time and again, they were they were operating under limited resources.
Right. It is like I said, it's still a shame that we never got a chance to. It's because that it's like we. I wanted to know more about her too, other than what was handed to us in her introduction, especially her racing across Africa. You know, and knowing her skill set as well.
I have a feeling she's probably got the one thing that she and Renee had in common that gave them chemistry was they just happened to be two career-oriented people that happened to find love.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Renee basically denied a whole bunch of stuff to go chase after his dreams, and Kit did something similar.
Still don't get enough of that though, unfortunately. Well, alas, it's what happened in the movie. But I would, like I said, I would have loved to see at least like a smidge of aspect of her. Like you get her inner thoughts and everything. You get what's going through her mind, but like I said, it's only told through Renee's perspective, unfortunately.
Yeah, true.
Or even in flashbacks.
Yeah.
Flashbacks or a little quick montage as it happened with Renee.
The only reason why I could think their backstory is very similar is because both of the coaches had product deals laid out for both of the athletes they were training.
Which is a well, rather unfortunate common occurrence like within the Olympics. Now that doesn't mean all coaches do this. However, those that do like end up like giving those like within that profession a bad name.
What's funny was they used catnip as a metaphor for steroids. Even though she's a big cat and not a common cat. That had me rolling. It's like, I heard the rumor that you use catnip. Hey, give me that. Get your hands off of me. I always love when he says that. Get your hands off of me. I always say that when they're trying to somebody put their hands on me. Like, get your hands off of me. So there's some lines that I borrowed from this movie too, which is hilarious. Like, men, this is the face of the enemy. He is ruthless. He is vicious. He will stop at nothing. Goes on, and the coach goes on this overly complicated play-by-play. and he outright encourages them to fight dirty. Kick him in the shins. Tear this guy's heads off. He's like, oh my god. It's like when you hear him do the whole play-by-play, I'm like, dude, are you encouraging them to fight dirty? I guess so, because they're playing hockey and it's fucking vicious as fuck, dude. That shit, like I said, that shit had me laughing. That shit was outlandish. Oh god.
My favorite part of the hockey scene was when I guess Bear McClain. Well, the hockey player Bear thought he was at the pearly gates, and it turns out it's his wife over him at the hospital. He's like, "Please wake up!
Talk to Mickey." Look at shit like a dude in drag. That shit had me roll. Like he looks like a dude in drag. Oh my goodness! Oh, how about that opening, which I had to briefly cut off because copyright.
Yeah.
Where it shows the torch carriers, and each one coming from different continents, and like each one having their own problems once they reach the next torch bearer. Like the bear blown up. I think it was a bear blowing his hot feet once he crossed the desert. Then you have I think he's a cheetah or he's a big cat, but when he gets to the ocean, he's like panting heavily. And then you got the dolphin that's carrying the torch, and now it's a rhino. And this rhino, I gotta man, props to the rhino. That motherfucker's a trooper. you just see him just go just in his moment. He just literally in his moment.
Yeah.
He just goes up and lights up the torch. And God, that torch is amazing, man. It's held up by a claw paw.
Mhm.
It's like, man, every single time I saw that claw paw, I just literally hold my hand up just like that claw paw. It's like, man, I just like stone hands. Period.
I kind of like the part where they light the torch with dragon's fire.
Yeah, showing the history. Oh, speaking of history, remember the Museum of Ancient Olympians?
Yep.
Olymp- this, oh, the shit be rolling. The shoes of an ancient ancient sneakers, which look like that they just made that just for display, like it was
Yeah.
like it was a hoax. Oh my god! It's like when you look at the sneakers, they look like they were made specifically to be in that museum and not something they just dug up. Had a T had a T-Rex looking his hands were positioned to hold up a dumbbell. Like at first when I looked at it, I was a kid just believing this shit, right? But now looking at it as an adult, I'm like, how much you want to bet they just made all this shit up? Just manipulate the exhibits and shit, you know?
Maybe.
Humble, maybe.
Well,
I
I
will
think
say some of these animals have 5 finger hands, which I have to give them more credit for. I think. Excuse me. Are we gonna say humble?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking about some of the animal designs and how they were like a good mix between the human anatomy and the animal anatomy, so it didn't look like out of place.
Mm-hmm. You can see it in some. Well, this is from someone else's art page doing a recreation of Tatiana.
I'm sure they had to also probably, and I believe they do with animation, they probably had to look at tapes, video of gymnasts, so that they can get her moves, lifelike.
Oh,
They probably have to watch favorite gymnast, or maybe let's see, 1980. Oh, I can remember the gymnast. There's Nadia Comaneci just come to mind. They might have to watch them so that you know her moves do feel she's an animal, but she's human like, and that's another fascinating about animation. So I'm sure they had to do that to get the moves going well.
And another thing I'd like to note that I'm really glad about is they made sure all the backstories were a little bit different. Like we've
Hmm.
had Tatiana, the elephant gymnast on the high bar who ended up swinging by her trunk and made the bar go round and around. And then the European hippo, who did charity work at Fat Camp.
Hmm.
And when she was going to jump the horse, which is a literal horse, the horse actually did a double take. It's kind of funny for me because there is been recent evidence found out that they found fossils of a European hippo.
wow.
Oh, who knew?
Yeah, well, you know. Okay, back to Animalypics. Olympics. Sorry.
I was like this pig. Of course, everybody's favorite doggy.
Yep.
I almost thought she wanted to go after Kurt Wolfner. She seemed to have a bit of a crush or something like that.
She did give out those vibes.
Yeah, she did.
I will not. I will not give up until I find. I to Dogla. I also like the fact that the ladies at Dogla look exactly like Kurt, but in drag.
Yeah.
And when he got to when he arrived at Doggerlot by accident, it's like as soon as they show the girls, he just looks at he just breaks the fourth wall. Like, yes, can you check the? Do you see this? Do you see what I'm seeing? Just immediately latches onto the one girl who looks exactly like all the other girls. I was like, I think he would imagine that shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was because he had a fever dream when he was up on that mountain.
Oh, I do like Dean Wilson's California accent, but they also hint how he's kind of like a pseudo. How would you place? How would you place him, Don?
I was a Cal. I was born. I was he came up as a surfer.
Yeah, but like he seems like a. I guess you could say he comes up as a free spirited.
Yes, yeah, thank you. He's one of those free spirited surfers.
Kind of yeah, he kind of did.
Especially his girlfriend, because we're both like vegetarians.
Yeah, because essentially, he came up. He talked about that, and essentially his free spiritedness, as I gave him, like echoes what people think of hippies, especially from the 1960s when the counterculture movement was occurring.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't written as a stereotype of a hippie, or at least a caricature of hippies.
Hey man, they're going all the way.
More ways than one.
Oh, I even say that line sometimes. Hey man, they're going all the way. I do love that psychedelic
The song during Dean's dive.
Yeah. I was like, man, like how long I was like, how long was that dive? This motherfucker going through fish and swimming around all kind of alien shit in the ocean. I do like the music accompanying it though.
I think they were trying to do deep sea fish. And not the deep sea fish from The Little Mermaid, the deep sea fish from Mariana's Trench.
Right. That's why I learned about those through this movie, actually. So, nothing else to say, guys?
Well, we can't talk about on the movie's soundtrack.
Yeah, I was going to get to that, actually. Which one was your favorites? Starting with Leia for now, since she really had time to watch all of it. Was there any standout songs that you caught
on? Let's see. I can't recall at the moment. Again, I'm sorry. I just don't have much to go on this one. There is one, but I can't think of it right now. Like with the running and with the gymnastics music. I'm sorry, I can't think of it right now. And one of you will probably mention it, and then it will come to me. That's just the way my mind thinks because I'm trying to think particular scene of that of how much I got through. But I can't recall it right now. One of you are going to say it. If one of you say it, I'm going to go, yeah, that's it.
We'll move to humble then.
Let's see. Oh wow, can't remember had her own song. The one I don't know, the underwater fantasy song stood out to me the most. But the one that actually sticks in your head is the one that said we made it to the top, but mostly because it was also the credit.
Oh, I love Bionic Boar, the one they use for the boar.
Oh yeah.
Sound like a Tron theme.
Yeah, it does.
He's not wrong.
What about what about you, Dom?
And I would have to say Symphony Fantastique, by Hector Berlioz, which was played for the couples figure skating. And I would have to go with Go For It, Born to Lose, as well as We Made It to the Top.
Ooh.
And also it was thanks to this movie and its soundtrack, I was introduced to the band 10cc because it was like Graham Goldman, or he is actually he is the music, the singer, the songwriter, as well as the bassist of the band. So he helped bring the soundtrack to life.
I have my personal favorites, but I really do like the overall track. More Most standout ones was Born to Lose, With You I Can Run Forever, Kid Mumble's theme, Love's Not For Me, uh, Underwater Fantasy.
Ooh, that's another favorite of mine.
That's the song that
Like,
was playing during Dean's hallucinogenic imagine daydream.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Uh,
honestly, like the entirety of the Animalypics soundtrack is something that I would actually play on repeat. Besides like naming off like name one of the favorites like from its list.
Go For It is my top favorite, one of my top favorites,
Good choice.
and Made It to the Top is my number one because I between Go For It and Made It to the Top. That's the one I hum to myself. I catch myself humming to sometimes whenever time before I even decide to do the stream today. As of today, like years back, I will always hum "Made It to the Top" or sing it to myself. We ain't never gonna stop. And there are times I catch myself humming or singing "Underwater Fantasy." Ooh, gotta be there. Ooh, don't you feel it? I don't know. Did you miss Bo Jenkins? But yeah, the songs really complement each other. You can, I mean, if you listen to the soundtrack on YouTube, which it is on YouTube, by the way, go check it out. It's eargasm galore. You will listen to it without having to skip any of the tracks. Just complete it. You know, from start to finish, if need be.
There's also the factor of each song having a role in the development of the plot.
And it
Especially with
characterizes,
each athlete.
yeah, it characterizes each of the athlete as well. But there's also songs playing for montages. I think I would say that think I would have to say that the movie starts off episodic at first, then the plot happens, or a plot rears its head in the second half. Because it starts with each event, and each character has their own episode, so to speak. But then when you get into the next plot, that's where a plot happens. Where or you could say stakes were stakes were introduced later on in the film. Stakes here and there, which was weird, or it could be, or at the same time cool. Like I said, with the hockey fight, the fencing. You know, hell, even the downhill, there were some stakes as well, somewhat. It was a hodgepodge of stakes introduced later on in the film. Did you guys get that sense? Get a hint of that?
Yeah, I caught it.
Yeah. I was too distracted by the subplot, though.
Yeah.
Because it was mildly entertaining.
So we're at the hour mark. Do you guys want to wrap it up now? Nothing else to say? We'll start with final thoughts. Start with Leia. Would you be willing to finish it later on?
Later on, perhaps. Not right away, but later on, when I find myself with some free time, yes, I would go back and maybe perhaps take a second look at it. But again, I think the film was okay. But like there were other movies. I have to do some research, and I'll bring this up at a later date if you have a free chill stream. What the heck? What was that? What the? Ooh. Sounds like a wicked little imp or something. Wolf, is that you?
Yes.
Okay. You just had to. I had a feeling that was you. I had a feeling it was you. I will speak of two other animated films that I think, again, I have to look to see if the same production company did them. But when I have some free time, I may have a second look at it. But again, I was happy that that you found a gem from back in the day that was good, and it shows you that good storytelling and good musical scores and good acting can make a movie last the test of time. Very funny, very funny.
I'm gonna have fun with this in the future.
No, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
I can download sound clips.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have some fun with this.
You are going to.
But that was a really good assessment of the story and a good way of saying Leia, definitely. Humble. That's you.
Thank you.
Okay, this was my first time seeing this film, and I liked it.
Wow.
Oh God. Humble, he's on a roll.
There are times when I have lived under a rock.
No, this is our first time watching this.
Yeah.
Especially with her being the youngest member of our group.
Mm-hmm.
And it did pretty good because it still stayed inside my head a bit when I went back to review the film.
Nice.
And that's a good thing when it actually sticks with you.
And how often
In a good
do you get that?
not a in a good.
Uh-oh. She's robotic.
Oh, yeah. There you go. I basically said it's great when a film sticks with you in a good way because then you actually enjoy yourself a bit more.
Sweet. Dominic?
Well, it was a trip down memory lane. Once I started rewatching Animalypics, and I gotta say, it has aged very well. And those who have seen it, well, those who have yet to watch it, it's on YouTube, including its soundtrack, and you're gonna have a blast. As it reminds you what animation as for movies and TV shows were like back then, before political correctness reared its ugly head.
Before they got too safe and also too simple for their own bridges.
You got that right.
I can watch it again over and over again multiple times. That's that's really just something that's timeless right there that I can really revisit at all times. I wish I owned the VHS if there was any more copies available, or let alone a DVD. I love a re-release of it one day or a remaster, because of all the images I put up are very what's the word? What is the word?
It's a word.
Word is the word. Not very unclear and faded images because of the VHS nature. So I would love to see somebody try to find, you know, get a print of it and remaster it and put it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I can see it work. However, I will say the caveat to a remastered edition of the Animal Olympics is make sure it isn't too clean, because seen that when well, majority of the classic Disney movies before the Renaissance, like they received a remastered edition. However, it actually roused people watching like the lines, as well as not only after images but the graininess when the animators were worked on cell animation.
Yeah, not to mention color
101,
degradation.
not to mention 101 Dalmatians was done, a lot of it was done on a photocopier.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, did not know that. New fun fact.
Yeah. Well, like I said, no, like, nobody's against a remastered edition of the Animal Olympics or any classic or obscure animated feature or TV show. However, in the restoration process, it shouldn't be too clean.
Yes, anyone ever heard of the Bluffers?
Hello, hello.
You sound far away, Wolf.
Well, now he's roboting.
Oh God.
I can hear you well now.
Millstar asks, has anyone heard of the Bluffers?
What?
No, I
No, not, no.
We'll have to make a point of talking about that one day. That's this is what I set up for these streams so that we can all talk about and hopefully get people interested in movies that or animations that they never heard of. Pretty soon we'll have to one day talk about heavy metal and heavy metal 2000.
oh, I remember that one and the first one too.
I have the Blu-ray of the first one.
The first one, yeah, I've read it, but I've seen it several times, so I'm familiar with the first one. Yes.
The second one's on Tubi as we speak.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that second one in a while.
So watch it while it's still on there because sometimes Tubi removes certain movies.
Yeah, they only keep it for a certain length of time.
What's cool about it is that they do give them a certain amount of time, unlike say Netflix.
Yeah. Usually on Tubi, you see it. They'll let you know when it's leaving. Like if it's got "leaving soon" above it, you know it's going
Yeah.
away. But but you at least get yeah, get you some time to watch it.
So
It's
with
been
that
on
being
Tubi before. I
yeah,
think it's returned. Yeah.
with that being said, I thank everybody for being here. Those 6 or 7 of you, and those 9 of motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. Thank you everybody for for sharing this moment with us, where we talked about funny animal Olympics, aka Animal Olympics, and always shoot for the stars. And hopefully this animation will inspire you to, I don't know, take on sports or visit the zoo or watch more old school animation even. So thank you everybody for being here, starting with the lovely lady of our Leia plus size.
Good evening, everyone. This is Leah Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor. And as Wolf said, I hope you enjoyed this discussion we have on Olympics. And like he said, we hope it gives you a chance to check out. Don't be afraid to check out classic animated films or TV shows. Give them a chance. I know for a lot of you, you weren't born when these movies were made, but if you look at them and just go back and see what good storytelling and talent is about, you have more appreciation for it, and the wish why I should have it back. If there is any type of animated film from back in the day that you would like for Wolf and I to review that you haven't mentioned, please leave it in the comments below. I am sure he will appreciate that. And until then, see you all on Thursday. Oh my goodness. You know what? Not just me. Not just with me. You are getting too happy with that. I see now. I see now. Hmm. You're gonna
The
get
how
crazy with that.
the how of the Saldonic Pal.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us in this latest episode of the Animation Spotlight. If there are any other films or TV shows that you would like us to discuss in the future, make sure you put them down in the comment section down below, and make sure you subscribe to Wolfden Media's channel. This is the Hound South Donnie Powell signing off, and remember to keep up the good fight and keeping hope, idealism, and optimism alive in the world, because remember, cynicism and nihilism are for losers.
Ay, 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 ay.
Oh God.
Last but not least, the humblest of ours, Humble Marty.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you for having me. I am glad y'all had a good time, and ditto what they said. Any animation you want us to check out, leave it in the comment section down below. Have a nice time.
Everybody have a good first spring. I hope you guys are not too hungover from St. Patrick's Day. And going forward, we got a whole shit ton of shit to talk about coming in the futures in May, especially in April, coming up in June, July. Man, we got big plans, guys. And we got more entertaining, real millennial stuff to talk about starting this Thursday when we talk about more sci-fi. So that being said, this has been your Commander Wolftan. Remind you guys once again, you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.
Me and my friends get no respect. What does Scooby do that we need?